Welcome everyone! In this video, we are going to be diving into my top 5 best teams for the Sunshine Cup. Now, this is a format that we have had in the past. It takes place at the Great League format, and it only allows normal, grass, ground, and fire types. And they are banning Charizard. So, with the new Season 16 updates, the meta has shifted quite a bit. A drastic change. It's going to look quite different, and we've got some very, very strong teams for you guys. So without further ado, let's dive right in. All right, guys, kicking things off, team number 1, a very powerful team for this Sunshine Cup meta. It leads with Gligar on the lead, double on the safe swap, and Vigoroth in the back to bring it home for you. This is a very powerful team. Gligar, one of the new faces that we are now seeing eligible for the Sunshine Cup. It'll be very interesting to see. Let's have a look at this scorecard here. And a very powerful and strong scorecard. You don't get much better than what we see here. We get an A for coverage, B for bulk, A for safety, and an A for consistency. That is amazing. Let's dive into these matchups here. So Gligar on the lead is going to be very strong. Not without weaknesses, of course. Pidgeot could give Gligar some problems. A lot of Pidgeot trainers really do enjoy employing the Brave Bird and Retreat strategy. It's a pretty effective strategy if you have the right team for Pidgeot, because it allows them to either win lead or get an early shield advantage. So Pidgeot will take a team effort. I do believe you tank a Brave Bird. It's not comfortable. It's not fun, but Pidgeot will have to give up switch advantage if they do employ that very popular strategy. So giving up switch allows you to strategize accordingly. The team as a whole doesn't generally, need shields to perform at its best. Vigoroth does generally perform with well with a shield advantage, but both Vigoroth and Double are very good at getting those shields right back. So they will end up giving you switch. That's generally the play pattern for a Pidgeot trainer on the lead, Brave Bird and Retreat, and then you can strategize from there. Not impossible. Everything else in between, very straightforward with this team. Both Vigoroth and Double in the back, again, very, very good at getting shields down on your opponent. And Gligar is just a very strong Pokemon, can beat the Pokemon that generally beat Double and Vigoroth, i.e. an opposing Double or Vigoroth. You got to keep it away from an occasional Abomasnow that you could run into, or perhaps a Swampert. But outside of that, pretty straightforward team to play here. Double is the dedicated safe swap, as it is slightly spammier than Vigoroth, if you can imagine. So getting that safe swap, getting it ahead by a turn is even better for a double safe swap. So that is team 1, very powerful team, one that you'll definitely see featured on this channel. I haven't played Gligar as much as I wanted to during this Great League cycle, so I have been really wanting to play it again. So you'll definitely see this team demonstrated on this channel, a very powerful and strong team. It leads with Gligar on the lead, Double on the safe swap, and Vigoroth in the back. So without further ado, that is team number 1. Let's have a look at team number 2. All right, guys, moving right along. Team number 2 here. Another very powerful team for the Sunshine Cup. It leads with Pidgeot on the lead, running Aerial Ace. We'll get into that. Double on the safe swap, and Steelix in the back to close the game strong. So this team designed to get shields down for Steelix to absolutely wreak havoc. Steelix with a shield advantage is generally next to unstoppable. So Pidgeot on the lead. We'll get into the strategy with this team, but let's have a look at the scorecard first. Very powerful scorecard, very strong. We get an A for coverage, B for bulk, A for safety, and a B for consistency. So running Aerial Ace, you're going to have a lot more consistency with Pidgeot. I do think that's the way to go. How often are you actually using Feather Dance? You're generally going to hit that Brave Bird and Retreat to clear the debuff, get that early shield, or do massive damage. That's generally what you do. Aerial Ace is just nice to, it's a nice energy, or I should say cost-effective option. I think more suited for Pidgeot's stat product than something like Feather Dance, because the energy is so close to Brave Bird that you might as well just go for the Brave Bird. So having a more cost-effective move with Stab, I think, gives Pidgeot a lot more flexibility. And it shows here in the matchups. Holy smokes, look at Pidgeot on the lead. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, this thing, PV Poke absolutely loves Pidgeot, holy smokes. But on the lead, you're going to be winning lead a lot, as we can see here. We do have a couple of potential hiccups here. An opposing Pidgeot, it's not a big deal. We've got Steelix in the back for that. You're going to want to hit that Brave Bird and get out of there in the double. If they CMP you, though, that can be tricky. So you'll have to use your discretion there. But that's not one that you'll want to stay in on. Another one that can be tricky is Diggersby on the lead. That's the one I really want to hammer home. That one, you're going to have to hit that Brave Bird and get out of there. Diggersby is recommended to run Quick Attack, Scorching Sands, Hyper Beam. So they're going to want to build all the way up to that Hyper Beam. You're going to outpace and do big damage on Diggersby. It's not likely they shield, but what's most important is chunking away at that massive health stat. And then you're out of there into your double and playing on from there. Try and get those shields down. The beauty of this team and the strategy behind it is that both Pidgeot and Double are very good at applying intense pressure on your opponent's shields. That will secure the shield advantage for Steelix to perhaps sweep the remainder of your opponent's team, because Steelix with a shield advantage is generally next to unstoppable. I don't see there being much of a difference in this meta. Everything else pretty straightforward. Miltank, if you do happen to run into one, I don't think you'll be seeing very many, to be honest, but if you do, that's not one that you really need to stay in on. They're just going to outpace you, and they are doing super effective. So the Brave Bird and Retreat, I don't think it's worth on something like a Miltank. Just go right into your double and play on from there. Whiscash, I don't think we'll see too much of. So yeah, very, very straightforward. I wanted to go over Pidgeot and Diggersby. The strategy behind this team, again, get shields down between Pidgeot and double. Securing a shield advantage for Steelix to sweep the game. That's the name of the game with this team. And I do think that will be a very effective strategy for team number 2 here. So that's team 2. Pidgeot on the lead, Double on the safe swap, and Steelix in the back to sweep the game. So with all that said, that's team 2. Let's dive into team number 3. All right, my friends, here we go. Team number 3, another very powerful team for the Sunshine Cup. It leads with Steelix on the lead, Gligar on the safe swap, and Vigoroth in the back. You can also safe swap Vigoroth, of course. Both Pokemon in the back serve as very strong safe swap options. Steelix on the lead is here to get ahead of those Pidgeot leads. Let me tell you guys, they're going to be out in full force. It is inevitable. It is as sure as the sun will rise in the morning, you're going to encounter a Pidgeot on the lead. Multiples of them to be exact, and there's no better surefire way to get ahead of a Pidgeot lead than a very strong Steel type lead to meet those Pidgeots. So that's what we have here. I will say, though, and preface this by saying that if you are experiencing an uncomfortable number of Swamperts on the lead at your particular elo, you're going to want to lead with Vigoroth. That is what you'll want to do to make the adjustment. But Steelix is here to get ahead of those Pidgeot leads. Let's have a look at the scorecard here. A for coverage, B for bulk, A for safety, and a B for consistency. You don't get much better than that. Identical to team number 2. So again, Steelix is on the lead here to get ahead of those inevitable Pidgeot leads. So that's what we're doing here with Steelix on the lead. Has strong play up against just about the entire meta. If you're met with a Diggersby, of course, or a Swampert is going to core break if you run it this way. This is strictly to get ahead of all of the Pidgeot leads. Again, If you're experiencing an uncomfortable number of Swamperts on the lead at your elo, lead Vigoroth. That's going to solve that problem for you quite effectively. But a Diggersby lead, you're safe to get out of there into your Gligar safe swap. Vigoroth is your best answer. You never want to safe swap your best answer. You always want to go to the soft counter. What else here? Ninetales. I don't think we'll see too many of those. Blaziken. It was pretty prominent last Sunshine Cup, so that's not one you'll want to stay in on. Basically, obviously you stay in on those winning leads, but the neutral leads, it's okay to go in the Gligar and try and get a shield advantage for Steelix to maybe clean up with a shield advantage in the end game. So yeah, that's how we operate this team. I was just looking at that matchup there, but yeah. So yeah, very strong team here for team number 3. Steelix on the lead, Gligar and Vigoroth in the back. Again, if you're seeing a lot of Swamperts on the lead, just make the adjustment, put Vigoroth on the lead, safe swap Gligar, and sweep with Steelix. You'll do just fine with that alignment as well. But yeah, with all that said, that is team 3. Steelix on the lead, Gligar and Vig in the back. Now let's have a look at team number 4. All right, guys, moving right along to team number 4. Another very powerful team here for the Sunshine Cup, leading with Abomasnow on the lead, Double on the safe swap, and Gligar in the back. So Abomasnow, another very solid Pokemon to address a lot of the flying types in this meta, most notably Gligar, which I do anticipate it will be top tier meta for sure. There's no way around that. So Abomasnow handles those Gligars quite effectively. Let's have a look at the scorecard. Not bad, very solid, very strong scorecard here for team number 4. We get an A for coverage, B for bulk, B for safety, and an A for consistency. Very strong scorecard here for team 4. So Abomasnow on the lead. You technically don't beat Pidgeot, but it's not a fun matchup for Pidgeot to stay in on, guys. You can play out the ones. They may be running Feather Dance. It's nice to check and see what the moveset is at least. If they are running Feather Dance, you're going to outpace them to the Weather Ball. And you are taking super effective, but Abomasnow can withstand a little bit of that. That's not one that you'll stay in on the long haul. You'll want to get out of there once you play out the ones into your double and look to play on from there. Any fighting type or fire type, you're obviously not going to stay in there on. But the ground types, which I do anticipate you'll see quite a bit of. If you're met with a Steelix lead, you've got coverage for that in the back. Both Pokemon in the back beat Steelix or have a very strong play up against Steelix, I should say. What else here? Trying to look for something that's not blatantly obvious, but yeah, that's about it for this team. Everything else in between is straightforward. Double is the dedicated safe swap. Gligar can prove to be a very strong closer with the digs with stab, has very good bait potential with aerial ace with stab as well. So yeah, very strong team here for team 4. Very effective to meet a lot of the team comps that you will encounter in this meta. So that is team 4. Abomasnow on the lead, Double on the safe swap, and Gligar in the back. And obviously, if you don't have a double, you can run Vigoroth as well. So that is team number 4. And with all that said, let's have a look at team number 5. All right, guys, last but certainly not least, team number 5, leading with Pidgeot, once again making a return for team 5, Vigoroth on the safe swap, and Swampert in the back. So, a somewhat budget version of team 2, but could have play depending on how the meta shapes out. I almost said better play, but I don't want to quite say better play. Just solid play, almost as solid as team number 2 here. So very similar team comp, very similar strategy. Let's have a look at the scorecard here. So team 5 scorecard, very solid here. A for coverage. We do get a C for bulk. So Swampert and Pidgeot do have a tendency to bring a bulk score down. So not a big deal. It could be a lot worse. We do have a B for safety and an A for consistency. So, very solid scorecard overall for team number 5 here. And the matchups are very similar here. Very similar strategy. I would highly recommend the Brave Bird and Retreat strategy. Get those shields down for Swampert to sweep. Swampert with Hydro Cannon, my goodness, forget about it. It is quite quite the combination, let's just say. Vigoroth, again, much like Pidgeot and Double, Pidgeot and Vigoroth, very similar in terms of intense shield pressure on the opponent, which allows you to secure that shield advantage for Swampert to perhaps sweep up a shield. And it is recommended that you run Sludge Wave in this meta, and I wouldn't disagree with that. That's not a bad idea. So, yeah, very similar here. You're going to Brave Bird and Retreat on all neutral or losing leads. You're going to handle Diggersby the same way. Hit that Brave Bird and get out of there into Vigoroth. And you don't even really have to stay in on a Diggersby lead to do that, because both Pokemon actually handle Diggersby quite well. But yeah, everything else pretty straightforward. This is a powerful team here. Very accessible option as well, I will say. So that's Team 5, Pidgeot, Vigoroth, and Swampert. And that about wraps it up for my top 5 best teams for the Sunshine Cup. Should be very interesting. The meta is drastically different than it was the last time we had it. Which should be a lot of fun. Very massive shakeup here for the Sunshine Cup meta. It will be running alongside the Open Ultra League, so a nice second option for those of us who choose not to participate in the Open Ultra League. We've got a nice little option here in the Sunshine Cup, so should be a decent meta overall. But guys, I had a blast. I hope you all enjoyed. As always, I thank you for watching, and keep up the grind. Thank you, guys.